President Biden isn't even budging on the issue. Because they're both Republicans like yourself and Democrats like Mayor Adams who are saying that the problem has to be solved, but they're not solving it.
Yeah, they ignore that there's a problem at the border, and the reality is the House Republicans passed 3 pieces of legislation to address this issue, to not only secure the border and go back to the policies of the previous administration, but to give CBP the tools that they are requesting, the technology and the tools that they say that they need to do the job, and also one that would tackle the issue of fentanyl flowing into our country via Mexico from China. We've also passed legislation, by the way, to prohibit schools and parks, which Eric Adams is using, to be used as migrant shelters and encampments. The problem is Chuck Schumer, who is from New York City, refuses to allow any of these bills to come to the floor for a vote. So Mayor Adams needs to go talk to the senator from his own city to say, why won't you allow these common sense solutions that will end this crisis today to come to the floor for a vote? Eric Adams also is misinterpreting New York City's right to shelter law, insisting that the city and the taxpayers have a responsibility to house, tens of thousands of individuals that are citizens of other countries, when the right to shelter is for homeless New Yorkers only. So he shares in the blame of this crisis that New York City is seeing, and the reason is because he keeps incentivizing people to come to our city with free services.
Well, the mayor also keeps blaming Texas Governor Abbott. There are a lot of people around the country, including the supervisor of San Diego on the West Coast, and they've received over 60,000, I think, in just the last 3 months of migrants, who says that it's not a problem of Texas, it's a problem of the federal government. Roll tape.
I really think it's ironic that, the mayors of Chicago and New York and Denver all blame, the state of Texas when it's the border itself. And here in San Diego County, it's the federal government that is dropping people here at a parking lot, basically. And then these people are being helped by our nonprofits who are funded by county and local taxpayer dollars.
So that's what's happening in San Diego. Is that what's happening in New York as well?
Yeah, well, look, you have 10 million people who have entered this country at the border because of Joe Biden. They have to go somewhere. So certainly I don't like that Governor Abbott is busing people to New York, but that represents maybe 10 to 15% of the individuals that are making their way through to New York City. The federal government is paying for these flights. Nonprofit organizations are paying for these flights. And so why is our mayor not suing? Look, and let me point this also out. Texas has tried to put up its own barriers to stop this mess. They passed a law to also deport these individuals who are crossing illegally. The Department of Justice of Joe Biden is suing them to stop both those things. So the states are so limited in what they can do because our own Department of Justice, led by Joe Biden, is actually stopping them from trying to implement any measures to tackle this illegal immigration.
Congresswoman, I got to talk about this meeting that took place in Mexico with the Secretary of State Blinken, DHS Secretary Mayorkas, and the President of Mexico. There's questions about what was discussed there. They put out a communique that made it sound like they were talking about amnesty for the millions of migrants that are here illegally. Speaker Johnson suggested such in a memo that he sent out about what they were doing. Were they discussing, while they're not talking to our U.S. Congress about this situation, are they talking with the President of Mexico about an amnesty?
It could be amnesty, but certainly not about border security, which is the real issue here. We have fentanyl flowing into this country, killing over 100,000 Americans. We have sex trafficking. You have women and children who are abused along this journey, that are raped along this journey. If you look at the Doctors Without Borders report, it was 100 in just one particular part of the journey in just 1 month period. Hundreds of women and children that are raped. And our president and this administration is allowing this to happen with its open border policy. We should be welcoming immigrants the lawful way. My office, we've helped over 100 people become U.S. citizens that came here and been stuck in the bureaucracy. And guess what? The people that are coming lawfully and waiting patiently, they're being pushed to the back of the line. They're being told that they're taking the border crossers first for asylum hearings versus the people who have been waiting in the system and did everything right. And that is wrong that this president continues to incentivize people to come the wrong way, knowing that every person that comes to the southern border is paying thousands of dollars to the drug cartels. That's who's benefiting from this. And I'm certain he didn't bring that up with the president of Mexico.
All right.